Hello, how you doing? Santos, your friend from Wealth Harbor, the channel where we can learn more about financial education, about money. And what I was saying in the previous video, that's something that I didn't have in the early stage of my life. And I already had two businesses in the past. And the other video also was talking about my experience on my first business that I started when I was 22 years old, and I did it for 8 years, and it was a very an amazing learning lesson in life. So many things you learn about businesses, and you learn about how to manage people, and you learn about money on your own, right? But that's one of the things that if I will have more knowledge about financial education, like finances in general for business, I think it will be a completely different thing. But right now I think it's a very interesting a situation around the world, because things are changing really fast. I want to mention, if you didn't see the video before, so my first business was a kiteboarding school. So if you think about that, that's all related to tourism, people traveling from other country to our location. And it was something really hard in the pandemic year. We stopped in the pandemic year, right? But I can imagine for all of the businesses, then they were all about tourism. I think they guess maybe finally last year it was a little better, but it was a very hard 2 to 3 years where it was a big hit. A lot of business owners, they couldn't survive these years where it was not much traveling. We know about this. Like, I don't know, maybe I don't have to go that deep into that topic, but we know that we went through business owners, and the whole world, the whole population in general, we went in through really hard moments during the pandemic. But for some other people, it was a good opportunity, right? But why I'm talking about this, because I wanna talk a little bit about my other the experience that I had with my second business. So my second business, I think I was still doing my previous business, right? But I saw the opportunity to start this business, and I went for it. Like I said before, but man, you gotta execute. Like, you cannot wait until everything is perfect to start something. Like, you gotta start. So that's what I did, right? Maybe that previous business was not doing well, but I was like, I saw the opportunity, and we went for it. With this second business. So this second business was about video production. It was like a coverage for sport events. Now maybe that I mentioned, now you are like, ooh, but yes, exactly. So what happened, we started the business in late 2019, or in the winter of 2019, right? So then we continue in the beginning of 2020, and a few months after we launched, a few months after we started the business, and of course after doing the investment, right, the pandemic hit the world. And in the beginning, my personal, mentality, or what I was thinking is like, when you were looking at the news, or you get a little bit of like, hey, this is happening in China, and now it's happening in Europe, and all this stuff, I was like, in the very stage of the pandemic, right? I was like, I don't think this thing is not gonna be like a global thing, right? Everything is gonna be fine. Let's keep moving, right? But man, like when we start moving and we start getting into, later on that year, things started to get very, very hard. And one of the very big issues was the traveling, right? Like for a sport event, you need people together. So they started to cancel sport events in many countries, and you cannot have as many people in one room and all that stuff, and traveling was restricted, and all this stuff, and you already know what happened in the pandemic year. Man, it was hard. It was hard. And also, all of the businesses, that like the whole economy just contract, right? The whole money is just like, we're not gonna move money at all, right? So what happened is a lot of event organizations, then they had a bunch of sponsorships. Those sponsorships, they couldn't maintain that money going right towards those events. So pretty much they were losing money. So so what happened? People is restricted for traveling, so athletes cannot travel to other countries or to different places. It's restricted to be, more than 6 people in one room, and all this kind of stuff. And money is not going out of the businesses anymore. And man, it was a big hit for this new business, and we started. And I mean, we couldn't keep going for longer period of time with this business. And you can imagine like being in a business where there is no market. It was just no way to cover an event if there is no event, right? Like their event organizations, they didn't have the money to put the event together, and people couldn't travel. So we stopped doing that business. That was like, we're almost 2 years on that business. Well, at least it was kind of like a learning lesson, right? It was a kind of like a fast learning lesson. And one of the learning lessons here is like, one more time, I think one of my learning lessons is like, I had my money, or we put the money, if you think about it, the previous business I had, right? It was about tourism. And then the second business it wasn't about tourism, but it was related for people required to travel, right? So what happened is, this whole pandemic situation hit the two of the businesses. So the previous business was not doing good, right? Then the second business we started, the pandemic hit the world, and then the whole thing collapsed. And getting back to my point is like, yes, we put again more money into another business, but it wasn't far, the relation between each one business, it wasn't too far, right? So we couldn't continue with it, right? So I think part of the learning lessons here is like, you want to find the way to invest your money in different type of resources, right? Like if the traveling economy goes down, like if people cannot travel anymore, okay, I have this other business here that is still making money, right? Let's say if, I don't know, something like that, like if, you know, big companies with sponsorships or something, you know, money is not flowing, then okay, we still have this other thing, this other business that is making money, and we can keep going through those hard moments, right? So that was one of the other learning lessons. I know for a lot of people, still, like, it was very hard. Even the restaurant businesses, right? Even the restaurant businesses, a lot of them, they couldn't survive, right? So anyway, that's a little bit of my learning lesson with my second business and how it went through the pandemic. We ended up, like I said, after almost 2 years, we ended up, you know, not doing that business anymore because it was just impossible, and we didn't know how long it would take for the whole economy to get back, or to the world to get back like normal life, right? So that's how we decided to stop doing that business. So anyway, so that's a little bit of that learning lesson, what happened in my second business. And I have more to tell you, right? But I think this time it's a little bit shorter video. We're gonna take off. We're gonna see you in the next one. So stay tuned. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Please leave some comments if you have some if you are a business owner, or if you were a business owner and you were hit by the pandemic era. I don't know, I would love to hear about it. So stay tuned for the next video, and see you in the next one.